Hey guys, we're here with Jason Huey and Vecna Robotics, and Jason's been graciously volunteered to talk to us a little bit about what they do, where this kind of fits. So Jason, first of all, thanks for giving us some time and talking to folks at home. So Vecna Robotics, what's kind of the overall, what is Vecna and what are you guys doing?
So what we originally started with was AFLs, which is autonomous forklifts, and tuggers, so also autonomous tuggers, which basically just, takes a lot of the stress out of the environment from a human capital standpoint, et cetera. Now, what is probably the most interesting thing right now with respect to Vecna is that we are the only provider of a fully automated case picking solution. So typically people have seen each picking, which is for e-commerce predominantly. So there's like the Locust and Six Rivers and Fetch and those types. Well, we've gone upstream from that, leveraging our knowledge from material movement and automation. We've gone upstream, so now we do case picking. So our solution, which is a Pivotal software, basically does congestion management, weight distribution, prioritization, and it's the same concept as each picking, but what it's actually doing is you're able to do it with case picking. So you have customers out there or companies out there like a DHL or that, 3PLs, manufacturing, where even though they may have 5,000 Locust robots, that may only cover 15 or 20% of what their case or what their picking needs are. Right. Whereas we can actually then address the case picking side because they're doing store-to-store replenishment and e-com. So we're more store-to-store, the B2B side of picking. They're more the end user side or e-commerce.
Yeah, well, a lot of our customers have a lot of that case picking. So, and that's where these puppies come in.
Yeah.
So give me and the folks at home, kind of, who is your ideal customer? When you guys are talking to somebody, you're like, oh, perfect fit. Who is that?
Yeah, I mean, it depends, but typically you need, several 100,000 square feet. You usually want a minimum order volume of about 2 million units a year. How that relates to pallets is all within how it sets up. I always like to say you need to have a certain number of grabs, right? So currently, if you're just doing one, stop and then one pick, that's not very efficient. Where you need to be able to slot, you need to be able to understand where your products are. And if you can grab, anywhere 5 to 7 is sort of a minimum, a grab per stop, then you'll usually see a return on investment of, north of 100%. You'll get a productivity gain 2x usually from each of the pickers out there in the aisle. Yeah. And the nice part is they don't have to be certified on forklifts or anything. They can be the same pickers that you're doing as each picking, which is a different cost basis.
And over that time horizon, we talk about the ROI. What do you typically look at? I know an investment can vary, and I'm sure that's a question in everybody's mind, but what kind of time horizon is on that ROI?
Well, that's the beauty of it. I mean, most of them are under a year. Worst case, I think we see about 18 months, but it really just kind of depends. You need a 2-shift operation to really make it work, to make the ROI effective. And you usually want to have north of 10 people per shift, and then you'll usually right in the sweet spot of that ROI.
Yeah, perfect, awesome. Well, Jason, anything else you want to tell folks at home who haven't been able to get here and see you on what's happening with Vecna?
Yeah, we're probably the most important thing is when it comes to case picking, we're the only solution that can do it right now. So, I'm sure we'll have a lot of competition this time next year, but right now we're the only one that is actually solved for this particular problem in the environment.
Yeah, no question. Well, the proliferation of robotics at PROMAT and Modex over the last several years is crazy. So yeah, expect some company soon in this area for sure. But all right, thank you. I appreciate it. Jason, good luck. Thanks for coming in.